So, in advance of the impending release of Star Wars Episode 7, I figured I should make this video explaining my point of view as an Expanded Universe fan, and why I am so pessimistic about the upcoming film. To put it bluntly, I did not become a Star Wars fan out of a love of the movies, and as far as I'm concerned, the movies haven't truly been relevant since the original theatrical run of the original trilogy. The special edition re-release was nothing more than a reminder that Star Wars movies are a thing, the prequel trilogy sucked, and the Clone Wars movie was mediocre and utterly forgettable. Furthermore, and this may be difficult for some of you to understand, but I do not feel any nostalgia for the original trilogy. For me, the original trilogy was not some bolt from the blue that changed the way I watched movies. It was my baseline movie-going experience. Films that I have watched since before I can remember. To me, the original trilogy is background noise. The Star Wars things that I feel nostalgia for are playing the original Star Wars Battlefront, playing the original Clone Wars game, playing Republic Commando, reading the Jedi Apprentice series, etc. Where the movies are few and far between, the Expanded Universe has been the most consistent source of quality Star Wars material since 1991. As far as I'm concerned, the movies haven't had any real impact on Star Wars since the 80s. And all, and I mean all, of the growth and evolution within the franchise has taken place exclusively within the Expanded Universe. For all intents and purposes, modern Star Wars is the Expanded Universe, and that is what I signed up for. I became a Star Wars fan for the continuity of the Expanded Universe, the 10,000 years of history and lore. I am a Star Wars fan for the same reason Tolkien fans are Tolkien fans. I'm here for the universe created by the Expanded Universe. And compared to that, the movies are quaint. To be clear, I am not arguing that the Expanded Universe is perfect, as there are many poor books and comics, but ultimately, its successes outweigh its failures. Internal contradictions and continuity snarls are the inevitable result of the growth of any multimedia franchise based around a single continuity, and not only were these contradictions dealt with, they were dealt with extremely well. A minor retcon here, a new explanation there, and everything is cleaned up. Star Wars has never needed the sort of large-scale continuity reboots that Marvel and DC have been forced to implement. In light of this, the disposal of the Expanded Universe by the new Lucasfilm leadership was completely unnecessary and was rooted in nothing more than laziness. They keep feeding us lies about wanting creative freedom, but instead of walking their talk and creating original material, they simply lift all of their story ideas and concepts from pre-existing material, more often than not from the Expanded Universe. Everything that is happening in the franchise right now is something I've already experienced on a smaller scale with Star Wars: The Clone Wars. You have the executives deciding to take an active role in producing new material, but instead of trying to work in concert with the existing material and weave a great tapestry, they act as though the existing material never happened and just do what they want. But instead of creating new ideas, they lift all of their major story concepts from the old material and twist them to suit their own agenda. And every single time they did this, the new version sucked. Star Wars: The Clone Wars is a bastardization, a pale shadow of the shining glory that was the original Clone Wars multimedia project. And you have no idea how much pain it caused me to watch people heap praise upon this crap, calling it original and groundbreaking when it was anything but, and knowing that if they had been familiar with the original stories, they would see TCW for the travesty it is. You have no idea how much pain it causes me to know that TCW has now poisoned them, because even if they are introduced to the original stories, they would still favor TCW simply because they were exposed to it first. And knowing that this is going to happen again, when Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens is released.